Hey guys, and welcome back to more World of Guns gun disassembly. We're doing the Barrett M107. I'll show you the model information. So you got all your information there, directly from Wikipedia. But if you're interested, and that information is very handy. Quickly scroll through these pictures. If you want to stop anyone, feel free to pause the video. Here's our specifications. If you want to see the specifications, also feel free to pause the video. We'll hop right into the field strip now. Barrett M107. M107. Okay, so it's a very simple field strip. The gun's actually made to strip down quite a bit, so it can be easily carried and it can be cleaned and maintained if anything happens to the weapon. So you pull out the clip and then you remove the bipod yoke. There's two pins you pull out, the mid lock and the rear assembly. Then you can pull off the whole upper receiver. Once you pull off the upper receiver, you just pull out the bolt carrier and you're good. That's your field strip. So it's pretty good. You got the whole gun there, tuck it apart and assemble it. Again, put the bolt carrier back in, upper receiver. And then your two pins. So pretty ingenious design, I think at least. Put back together your magazine and you're set, you're ready to fire. I think it's really well done. It's a very interesting gun. I really like the whole disassembly. Like, a gun comes apart just beautifully. So we'll start with our field strip and then we'll kind of strip down the parts that we pulled out. So you always start with your magazine. Magazine's always disassembled first. Again, pull off a bipod yoke. I'm going to put on highlighting for you guys. Bipod leg 2 assembly. And bipod leg 1 assembly. So very simple bipod disassembly, which is good. Don't want anything too complex. Mid lock. Rear assembly. Pull off the upper receiver. And pull out the bolt. So we're gonna take apart the main base of the gun here first, though, and we'll proceed to the bolt and then the final area there. So you gotta pull up the knob so you can move the monofoot tab assembly, which disassembles itself. A lot of these parts kind of disassemble themselves. Same thing with the recoil pad. You don't have to take out the screws manually; they kind of just take it themselves out. Rear hand grip assembly, pistol grip stock assembly. And then you just gotta reach in and pull out the mainspring. So magazine catch, once the mainspring is out, you can pull out the transfer bar. Transfer bar has a spring in it, so you can pull that out. And then pull out the trigger. Trigger also has the disconnector assembly on it. And then you can pull out the safety once the trigger is being completely disassembled. There's also two those are just the mounts for the yoke. You can see underneath here how that works. So now we'll take apart the bolts. So underneath, you pull out the cam pin, accelerator spring. This lets you pull out the accelerator, the sear. Oops, sorry, I didn't mean to click on the sear assembly yet. We're not quite there. So, bolt latch assembly, which allows you to pull out the whole bolt assembly. Out of the bolt assembly, you want to pull out the ejector and the extractor. Once you have the bolt assembly out, you can remove the sear and the bolt carrier pin. And the bolt carrier pin is what holds the firing pin in place and lets you remove the firing pin. So that's completely disassembled. You can move on to the body itself. Carry handle mount assembly. Muzzle brake assembly. Okay. So you can actually pull the barrel of this gun super early. So I want to demonstrate that for you guys. So once that's out, you just need to take out the barrel key. And you can move the both barrel springs. You can move front sight, and then there's the front sight catch. Same idea, rear sight. And then there's the rear sight base detent. Also rear sight scale and the aperture. And once the aperture's out, it looks like you have 10 pieces, but it's just this Picanti rail that has a bunch of screws in it. You can see them all the way down. So we're done. So that's our disassembly. We'll hop into the reassembly, which is, if we follow things, isn't too difficult. There's a bit of attention that has to be paid to certain things, but if you're watching, you will catch them, and if not, I can kind of show you through them. So we want to put our rear sight base detent in, our aperture assembly, scale, rear sight base, so that puts that back together one sight. Put the second sight, we want the catch assembly, and then the actual sight assembly. Okay, so before we put it back in our barrel, we have to reassemble the barrel springs and the barrel key. So that's barrel spring 1 and 2. Barrel key assembly is in place. Once that is in place, that barrel is a whole big piece, so you don't have to worry about putting pieces on in specific order. They kind of take care of themselves. The barrel key comes on and secures the barrel in place. And put back the muzzle brake. Oop, yeah, it takes a second there. Okay, we assemble the carrying handle mount assembly, and then we attach the carrying handle. Okay, so that's reassembled. Let's reassemble the trigger and everything next. Safety assembly. We can do the magazine catch. We want to reassemble our trigger. Okay, and then we can put our trigger back in. Same thing. Oop, where do you? I thought you clicked. I thought you clicked right on this piece to reassemble it. Okay, well, I don't know. I think I was getting bad angles. But anyway, you do want to click on your transfer bar. Put that back in. Main spring. Okay, once main spring is in, you can do several things. Pistol stock assembly. Rear handle and grip assembly. Recoil pad assembly. Oops, sorry. I apologize. Didn't mean to click the lock knob. Monopod foot assembly goes in next. Lock knob. We don't want to click that because remember, it doesn't assemble like most weapons. It kind of does its own thing. Okay, so do we have anything? No, I think this goes in first. It does. I think it was this bolt carrier pin that we had to put in right away, which is correct. This bolt carrier pin is, you put in the sear assembly, which is important. And then you can kind of start putting in, but Rossi, oh no, can't put the accelerator quite in yet. Okay, the accelerator is the other thing, but I think you have to put in the sear first, then the accelerator, and then you can pretty much put in anything. I think it's a lot of leeway once you put in the accelerator. Oops, I didn't mean to hit that yoke mount. I meant to hit here, but it's fine. Okay, wasn't sure if you could put the bolt latch in before the bolt. I didn't think you could because it doesn't really make much sense, but I want to try it. So ejector and extractor, bolt assembly, and then the bolt latch, which holds the bolt in place. Okay, I think we can put in the bolt carrier at this point. Then upper receiver. Mid lock, rear lock, bipod leg 2, bipod leg 1, put on the bipod yoke, and then 4 pieces left, which is the magazine. Put the magazine in, and we're golden. Model reassembled. Okay, let's hop into our operation. Barrett M107. Okay, so do a couple shots. Okay, so let's hop into our X-ray. Shoot a couple more shots, and then we'll hop right into the slow motion. Let's hit X-ray. What's X-ray 3 even look like now? I like X-ray 2. Okay, let's hop into 10. Watch triggers pulled, and it immediately hits the. So with the sniper rifles, we want pretty much to hit that thing as soon as possible, because you don't want a lot of time between when you squeeze the trigger and when it hits. So as soon as that trigger is compressed, that spring comes forward and hits that round. So gas pushes it back. See here, ejects the clip, loads the next one, pushes it forward, aligns it in the barrel, and then trigger resets there, and then you're ready to fire again. So we'll do a couple of those in 10 times. Do a couple different angles. Oh. So there's a little bit longer between when you push and when that actually comes forward. So we can't fire yet. Now we can. So we'll load. And we'll hop into 4. Give a couple shots. Okay, so what other things do we have? Well, we can so safety, as you've always seen, between save and fire. You can put up the sights. I wouldn't recommend using the iron sights on a Beretta, but I guess you could. Let's put the blob pod down. But more likely you're gonna put a scope on it, because that's what's gonna let you get optimum shots. It's a high-powered sniper rifle. You can also put a suppressor on it if you would like. And like that's a I don't know what this one is. I think this is a 40 caliber, like 407. But yeah, that in the front is crazy. You can take the grip off as well. That's just the carrying. And then unload it. So that is the Barretta M107. I hope you enjoy yourself, guys, and we'll be back in the next one for more. Thanks, guys. Later.